Today I'm going to demonstrate how to add a teacher, a class, and a student to the database of English Discoveries. In order to do that, you must log in as the administrator. You cannot log in as a teacher and add students, teachers, or classes to the database. You need the administrative login. So I'm going to click on a link to my company site. And we're going to put in the username and password. And now I am in the database. So the first thing I'm going to do is to create a teacher. So I'll go to registration, click on teachers. I want to add a new teacher, and we're going to call this teacher, whose first name is New. Last name will be teacher. You can have as many new, as many teachers, or first name and last names, whatever it might be. The username must be different for each teacher. So we're going to call this teacher New T, and the password we will make teacher. Now you can have the same passwords. The username is the one that has to be different. And I have not created the class yet, so I'm just going to click on gender. We'll make it male. You don't have to put in an email. If you put in an email, if you put in your personal email, whatever the students send would go to your personal email. So you are better off, unless you want to be inundated with emails from your students, leave it blank and it will go to your email automatically in the program. I'm going to click on submit. Again, I have the first name, last name, username, password, gender. Click on submit, and I have just created a new class, as you can see. A new teacher, rather. Now I'm going to create a class, and I'm going to call that class New Class. Very original today. And you can leave the blended right there. That doesn't matter. These are some other classes. As the administrator, you will see all the teachers and all the classes and all the students. When you log in as a teacher, you only see your classes. So I'm going to add the class. And after I add the class, I need to click on the I next to this new class. And now I'm going to assign the teacher to that class. Now you can have more than one teacher assigned to the class. So if I wanted to have teacher sample or teacher cruise or teacher FWC, I could add them, and then those individuals would also be able to see the students in my class and work with the students in the class. Now as the teacher, you can edit the information. You cannot create a new student. When I say you can edit the information, I was referring to a student. So we're just going to, I've added the new teacher and submit. So I have added a class, a teacher, and I have assigned the teacher to that class. Now I'm ready to add a student, but before I do that, I must give that class some content. In order to do that, I have to go to curriculum. And the content is in packages. Now you're going to see multiple packages here because this is our company site, and we often have different packages that we're using over a period of time. However, the package that you will get will usually be one package. of FDA3. Then you'll get a package of Companion, and also you could get a package of the career discoveries. So for now, I'm just going to assign the package of FDA3. And you see there is the class, new class. There's nothing that has been assigned so far, so I'm going to put a little check mark, and then that tells me that that has been assigned. And then I'm also going to go to the Companion series, and I'm going to assign that. So next to new class, I put a check mark. And I then have the material assigned to the students. And I'm going to click on Save. And I have saved the. Now I'm going to assign courses to that class. So first I assigned the packages so that there's content. Now there are specific courses that I want to assign. So I'm going to click on the class and click on Go. I'm not selecting a student. And there are the courses that I want to assign. First Discoveries, Basic 1, 2, 3, Intermediate 1, 2, and 3, Advanced 1, 2, and 3, and then the additional Basic, Intermediate, and Advanced, and the Companion series. And I'm going to save that. So I've added a teacher, I've added a class, I've assigned a package to that class, and I have made sure that all of the courses were assigned initially. Now I'm going to add a student. So I need to go back to registration. Now you could add a student beforehand. In other words, when you created the teacher, you could create a class, then assign the teacher to the class, and then create a student. I like to create the curriculum first, create the package, assign the courses, and now when I add the student, I know that each student is going to be assigned initially all the courses, and then I can adjust it later in terms of which courses I want them to have. So I'm going to click on Students. I'm going to create a student. Since we had new class, new teacher, we should have, obviously, new student. So we're going to click on the class where we're going to put the student, which is new class, and we must click Go. Now you notice there's an import feature there, so if you have a lot of names, you can put them into a spreadsheet and import them. And that will be covered in another tutorial. So I have the class. You see there are no students in the class right now. So we're going to add a student called New and a last name of student. And we're going to call that individual New S. And we'll make that a female this time. And I could put the student's actual email in there so that if I want to email the students from the program, it would actually go to their personal email. If I don't put an email in there, it will go to them in the program. So I'm just going to leave that as it is right now, and I'm going to add the student. Now when you add the student, you see we put in a first name, last name, username for the student. We did not put in a password. And so you must put in, there is a password that is generated automatically. And in order to see that, if you just click on the I next to the student, you'll see that the password is in dots. If you print it using this print feature, then you would be able to see the entire information. So Once you create all your students, add them to the database, then I suggest that you print out the class list and put it in a safe place, and that way if a student forgets the password, you'll be able to use that. Sometimes for usernames, ID numbers are used. Another convention is first name plus first letter of the last name. So whatever, it's good to have a kind of a pattern that you follow so that it's easy if a student forgets the password that you know what it is. And I'm going to make this password just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A password must have 5 characters, either a letter or a number, just as the username must be only a letter or a number. I might have said a name. Letter or a number. Now for the username, there's no specific number of characters that you need, but for a password you must have at least 5. So I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now I submit it. And I have just created a student. If I have another student, I would just put in the first name, last name, username, and so on. I'm going to log out. I'm going to now log in as the student. So that it was new S. It is not case sensitive, so you don't have to worry. Password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Log in. And now the student is in the program. When the student enters the program for the first time, there will be a tour, a walkthrough, and this would explain to the student how to navigate through the program. And they can just click on it. You can set in the management system, we'll talk about some other features in terms of the language support. If you set the language support for full support for a particular language, such as Spanish, then this tour would be in Spanish. This is explaining the features of the program. This might be something you want to do with the class in general. And now I'm into the program. So we have just covered how to add a teacher, a class, and a student to the database. If you have any questions, you can contact your representative or call our office and we will be glad to assist you. Thank you very much and enjoy English Discoveries.